Alright, Cytomancers, welcome back to Cytocosmos TV. In this episode, we're going to be comparing the relationship between molecular chaperones and the developing protein to spirit guides in the developing soul. This is metabiology. Alright, Cytomancers, if you remember from last episode, we mapped the soul to a developing protein, and the human body, which the soul incarnates into, to the human chaperone capsule, which a developing protein incarnates into, for similar reasons. And the human body itself is made up of trillions of cells, which in them have a whole bunch of chaperone capsules with developing proteins inside, alluding to the fact that we live in a giant multidimensional living fractal that is the universe, the cytocosmos, and that the universe is self-similar, and that the earth is some kind of cytocosmic supercell in the body of the universe, and the human soul relates to the body of the universe like a protein relates to the human body or to any organism. So now we're going to continue following this narrative of developing protein going through the developmental pathways within the cell to the developing soul going through the developmental pathways within the system of life on Earth. So, molecular chaperones, what are those? Well, we know what a chaperone is. A chaperone is someone who guides, assists, or looks after, or accompanies a person or a group of people. A molecular chaperone performs this function for developing proteins. Molecular chaperones themselves are proteins that help guide, assist, accompany, and look after, and chaperone, proteins that are still developing. And the developing protein has a whole posse of these molecular chaperones. They're like fitness trainers that help the protein get into the proper shape. Or you can consider molecular chaperones as hatha yoga instructors. They're helping to bend and fold and twist the proteins in just the right shapes and postures. Molecular chaperones are like life coaches, helping to guide and develop and mold and shape the attitude and character of the protein, being its conformational structure in that metaphor. So likewise, the soul has a posse of other souls called spirit guides. Now these can be in human form. They can be like animal totems, things like this. Spirit guides are said to look after, accompany, guide, and help develop the soul on its journey to reaching its final form, to achieving its proper character, realizing its relationship with the larger body of which it is a part, that is, the living universe. One of the other things that spirit guides are said to help the soul do is to cross over different layers of reality, to help traverse different dimensional boundaries that separate certain spaces from each other. Now that sounds weird, but what's interesting is that molecular chaperones do the same thing for the developing protein. The developing protein also has to traverse different barriers and different planes within the cell. Spaces are also compartmentalized and kept separate in the cell for important reasons. It's part of a living system. Things are regulated. Materials exchanged between these different spaces within the cell. The Earth life system, as a cytocosmic multidimensional supercell, does the same thing by what would be the equivalent of lipid membrane layers, and they could be like brains. We could map them to brains in brain cosmology, or we can piggyback on these things, but the idea is what's important here. And the implication here is that the cell is actually a reflection, it's a projection in 3 dimensions of a higher dimensional organization of being and order of life that exists both above and before us. And that's amazing. So just a summary of this video, we mapped spirit guides to molecular chaperones. And we said that the soul has a posse of spirit guides, just like the developing protein has a posse of molecular chaperones. And the relationship between the developing protein and the molecular chaperones is the same or very similar relationship that spirit guides have with the developing soul. It's an important thing to know that even though this is a 5-minute video and a condensed version of a big idea, there is a more elaborate description and mapping of the things we're talking about in this video in an article on cytocosmos.com. Anyway, stay curious, and thanks for watching.